Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Ghananantva Ghanapadigam Havamahe Kavin Kavinam Mupamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspadana Shrunvannodibhiseda Sadhanam Prano Devi Saraswati Vajinevade Dinama Vitrayavado Ganeshaya Namaha Saraswatyai Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om Saishwaraya Vitmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahe Tanna Sarvah Prachodayat. Om Kalakalaya Vitmahe Kalatitaya Dhimahe Tanno Kalabhairavah Prachodayat. Om Kalakalaya Vitmahe Kalatitaya Dhimahe Tanno Kalabhairavah Prachodayat. Om Kalakalaya Vitmahe Kalatitaya Dhimahe Tanno Kalabhairavah Prachodayat. Om Shanti 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 Hai. Sairam Lyn.
Sairam Sharma. Thank you, Bhagwan, for allowing Sharma and I to share the story of miraculous transformation. The name of our title tonight is Swami, the children are missing. Any parent can relate to this. No parent wants to hear these words that their children are missing, whether they are a devotee or Swami or not. This small phrase is enough to strike terror and fear into the heart of any parent or any caregiver. I'm going to relate a story of children going missing in the ashram, and I hope you enjoy this. It is a story full of surprising twists and turns. Ultimately, it is a story of transformation. My husband and I were requested to come to Prashanti to make a documentary film on the activities of the Sri Sathya Sai Ishwarama Women's Welfare Trust. This was in 2008. And Swami made this very clear through the senior trustee of the trust. And so we needed a cameraman, and we had a very good friend who we had worked with in our advertising days. We knew he had been doing filming for UNICEF and that he was very, very good. He had been used to traveling to the East, and he agreed to come with us as Seva to be our cameraman to film these activities. Now, the boy, our friend had 3 children. He had 2 teenage boys and 1 teenage daughter, and both children were the children from different mothers. And our friend was very worried about his children. They were already getting in trouble with the law, with the courts, with drug charges, and so on. And one of the boys was already before the courts here in New Zealand, and our friend was able to convince the judge to let the boy off of the charge if he took him to the ashram of Sathya Sai Baba in India. Miraculously, the judge agreed to this, and all 3 children fetched up at the airport with their father. I was somewhat concerned because the boys were carrying skateboards, and the girl was wearing most inappropriate clothing. And I told them all, you will have to dress properly for darshan. Yes, yes, they said, we will wear whatever we are instructed to wear. By the time we had landed in Bangalore, we went to our hotel, and the children, which they're teenagers, said they were just going out for a short walk. Unbeknownst to us, they had managed to buy a quantity of illegal drugs from someone on the street and did not tell us. They planned to smoke these drugs while they were inside the ashram. And as we all know, the ashram forbids the use of anything like this. So we ended up going to the ashram, and we were given a nice room. My husband and I had a room to ourselves and the family. Our friend with his 3 teenagers were given a very nice room in the north building. And soon we were provided with all the other equipment that we needed, extra tripods, whatever we wanted, special passes, and we began filming. Meanwhile, the children, and I will call them children, and that is my duck in the background. The children were getting restive inside the ashram. They wanted to go outside. We told them it is not a good idea to be roaming in the village, but being teenagers, they thought they knew better, and they were also craving meat. They wanted to see snake charmers. They wanted to see wild animals. They wanted to see tigers. I don't know where they got all these ideas that they could see these things in Puttaparthi village, but we came back from filming one day to find out the children were gone. Time passed and the gates closed at 9 that night, and they still had not returned. My husband and I did not know this, but soon the father was knocking on the door, and he said, "The children are missing. They have not come back. I am terribly worried." So we called up our dear friend and advisor, Dr. Sara Pavan. You will have heard me mention him in previous talks, one of Swami's senior medical consultants. Dr. Pavan came to see us, and he said, we told him what had happened. He seemed quite unconcerned, and he said, "Don't worry, Swami will take care of them." Well, this didn't make the father any more at peace. Of course, he got no sleep, and I have to admit my husband and I were also extremely concerned. This was these children's first time in India, and they had no idea how to behave. At least we had managed to get them to wear darshan clothes, but other than that, they were like wild teenagers who wanted adventure. So the next morning, Dr. Pavan arrived on our veranda, and so did the father. Dr. Pavan said, "I think you should go out into Puttaparthi village and have a look on all the side streets." How he knew this, we do not know. The father rushed out the Ganesha gate, and very soon in one of the side streets, he saw all of his 3 children vomiting. Very, what's the word can I say? They were vomiting a lot. And he brought them inside. We got the doctor to visit them, and they had food poisoning. Apparently, they had been seeking a meal of chicken. They found a shopkeeper, or perhaps it was a restaurateur, who was willing to go out and kill a couple of chickens for them and make them a curry. They ate it and became violently ill. And so it took them 10 days to recover. Fortunately, we had a Sai doctor to hand and gave them the correct medicine, but if anyone knows what food poisoning is like, it is no picnic. Meanwhile, after they had finally recovered, they still had this stash of drugs in their room, and I had been telling them, please close the screen door on windows, the screen latches, because monkeys will get into the room if you don't do that. As you may know, the rooms in the ashram have got screens and then bars, no glass. But they neglected to do this. They had all gone off for darshan, and a monkey got into the room and absolutely wrecked the room. He poured a jug of fruit juice over the computer they had. He unraveled all the toilet paper, which is a very precious item for Westerners in the ashram, very expensive. And he created complete mayhem and even scattered whatever was left of their drug stash. There was nothing to be had. The room was a complete disaster. When they came back, they had to spend a whole day cleaning up the room and throwing out a lot of things. After this, the children decided that they would go to darshan and start meditating under the meditation tree, which is up on a hillside above the ashram. You will be familiar with this if you have visited Prashanti. It is a large banyan tree. Swami had materialized a mysterious copper plate with special writings, some kind of mysterious writing on this copper plate, and buried it in the roots of this tree, and therefore energizing the tree and making it a favorable place to meditate. The children all began meditating under this tree and attending every darshan. Swami would walk past them with their father. and give them long looks. He did not speak to any of them, but he always made sure they had a front row and they got a beautiful darshan. The girl had learned to dress very modestly, and when some new arrivals, young ladies, young teenage girls arrived in the ashram, they were not properly dressed. This daughter said to me, "Look, Lyn, they don't know how to dress," which amused me greatly because she did not know how to dress, but she had completely forgotten that, and that was just one small miracle. By the time everyone arrived home, by the way, we were able to complete the filming. We made 6 small documentary series on the work of Esharama at that time, which was blessed by Swami and played in Kulwant Hall. By the time the children came back home here to New Zealand, they had completely transformed. Not long after, they found their life partners, were married, and began to have children. And our friend was now a happy grandfather, assigned many babysitting duties, and he said, "Now we are a real family." I do not believe that the children became devotees of Swami, but they got on with their lives, of course, and I think they always remembered their one trip to India. They only made one trip, but it was enough to transform their lives. Transformation is a great power that only Swami can do. He once said, to change sand into gold and gold into sand for me is very easy, but to change a human heart, very, very difficult. But he had no difficulty in changing the hearts of these 3 missing children who now live a blessed life under the ever watchful eyes of our beloved Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai. Om Shri Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Om Samastaloka Sukino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।
Jai.